for example. And what that seems to mean is that trans women are identical to.
Now, to be honest, I think Ben Shapiro is a complete fraud here, but let's assume for a minute that he just genuinely doesn't get it. And there's a reason why I say he's a fraud. Ben Shapiro says that I'm a man. I was born a man. I live as a man. I'm a man. But if I decided tomorrow that if I believed that I was a woman and I decided to live as a woman, that doesn't make me a woman. However, Ben Shapiro's Jewish. If I decided tomorrow that I felt like I was Jewish and that I wanted to be Jewish and I followed the conversion process, would that make me Jewish? Actually, it would. Ben Shapiro, as a Jewish person, if he wants to follow the rules, would accept me as Jewish. He wouldn't call me a convert. He would call me a Jew if I converted and became Jewish, because there's two ways to be Jewish. You can be halakhically Jewish, which means you follow the law, or you can be born Jewish, in which case you are genetically, your DNA. You are a Jew by birth, right? But in order to be accepted as a halakhically Jewish person, you have to follow the law, especially in Orthodox Judaism anyway, which Ben Shapiro is Orthodox. So Ben Shapiro should get this, right? Because halakhically Jewish would be like a woman by gender. Biologically Jewish would be like a biological woman, right? If Ben Shapiro says I can be a Jew, and by the way, if I convert to Judaism and I make Aliyah, I can move to Israel as a Jewish person. I am fully accepted as a Jewish person, even though biologically I'm not Jewish. Because halakhically, because I live like a Jew, I am a Jew. Because I follow the rules of Judaism, I am a Jew. Because I convert to Judaism, I am a Jew without being biologically Jewish. Yet Ben Shapiro says, if I follow the rules of being a woman, if I convert to being a woman, I'm not a woman. Why, Ben? Why is it acceptable for Jews to break all these rules? Because you say you care about truth. And the truth is you are whatever you're born. So if I'm not born Jewish, I can't be Jewish, right, Ben? This is why I say Ben Shapiro is a fraud on this topic. Now listen, I got no complaints. If you want to convert to Judaism, I'll recognize you as a Jew. But if you are a biological male who chooses to identify as a woman, I'll also recognize you as a woman. Vice versa. Born a woman, identify as a man, I'll recognize you as a man. Where's the hang up, Ben? Yesterday I did a video making a simple point. I think that Ben Shapiro is a fraud on the transgender issue because he is an Orthodox Jew. And Orthodox Judaism believes that Gentiles can become Jewish, but Ben Shapiro says that men cannot become women. A lot of people said that I was comparing apples and oranges and that this wasn't a legitimate comparison because your sex is biological, whereas your religion is a choice that you make. This is not the Orthodox Jewish understanding of what it means to be a Jew. So I went and got a video from Rabbi Gutman Locks to help us understand what it means to be a Jew and how one can become a Jew.
The only thing it takes to be a Jewish person is to have a Jewish mother.
Notice there, Rabbi Gutman said you have to have a Jewish mother, not a Jewish father. And that's the Orthodox understanding. Your mother has to be Jewish. But is this the only way that I can become Jewish? Is there any exception to this rule?
There's one exception to this rule. A proper convert, a kosher convert. If you have an Orthodox conversion, then you become a Jewish person.
Notice, with an Orthodox conversion, I become a Jewish person, not a person who believes in Judaism, but a Jewish person. But maybe he means by that a person who believes in Judaism.
When you become a Jew, you don't become a Jewish believer. You become a Jewish person.
So this isn't a matter of faith or religion. You actually become a Jew in the teachings of Orthodox Judaism. You actually become a Jew when you convert to Judaism. Now, certainly, if I convert to Judaism and become a Jew, okay, but what if I converted to some other religion thereafter? I would stop being a Jew, right?
If you become a member of a religion and then later change your mind and go to another religion, you're no longer a member of that first religion. But if you become a Jew through a kosher conversion and become a Jewish person, and then you decide to follow some other religion, you're still a Jew.
So an Orthodox Jewish conversion doesn't make me a Jew by religion. It makes me a Jew. Even if I leave the religion, I remain a Jew. Now, you can disagree with this. Absolutely. If you're not Jewish, you can disagree with this. That's fine. But I'm not saying that everybody who holds Ben's position is being fraudulent. I'm saying that Ben Shapiro is being fraudulent because his religion teaches that if I, as a Gentile, convert to Judaism, I become a Jew. But that's biology. How can I become a Jew? By conversion. But yet he says that I can't say that I'm a woman and become a woman. And I think this is very hypocritical on his part. And I think Ben Shapiro should answer that. Why is it that Ben Shapiro believes that a Gentile, biologically speaking, can become a Jew, but a man, biologically speaking, cannot become a woman? This comment is referring to a video I did earlier where I point out that Orthodox Judaism believes that if you convert to Judaism, you actually become Jewish. So that if you then convert it away to another religion, you're still Jewish, even though you're following another religion. Just like a Jewish person can become a Christian, for example, right? If you convert to Judaism, you can later become a Christian, but you'll still be Jewish. And this commenter is saying, well, that's weird. And it is a little bit to us because we grew up presumably in a Christian culture where we don't really understand Judaism and what it was all about. But promises were made to Abraham and to his descendants. So if you want in on those promises, they have to find some way to get you in as a descendant of Abraham. And the covenant of circumcision for men, anyway, is the way that you come in as the offspring of Abraham in Judaism. Christianity had the same problem because they're trying to take this salvation to the whole world, and it's only promised to Abraham. So Paul addresses this in Galatians 3:16. He said, now the promises were made to Abraham and to his offspring. It does not say, and to offsprings, referring to many, but referring to one, and to your offspring, who is Christ. So now in English, that's just silly. Nobody says offsprings. Like if you have one kid, it's your offspring. If you have 5 kids, it's your offspring, right? Certainly the Hebrew must be different, but it's not. It's Zara. It's your seed. Your seed is 1 child or 5 children. It's all your seed, right? It works the same way as the English word offspring. So it's kind of a silly argument that Paul's making here. But what he's arguing is that the descendants of Abraham aren't actually the descendants of Abraham. Only Christ is a descendant of Abraham. And so then if you come down to verse 28, he says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is no male nor female. For you are all one in Christ Jesus. And if you are Christ, then you are Abraham's offspring, heirs according to the promise. So in other words, if you are literally a descendant of Abraham, you don't get the promise unless you come in through Christ, because he's the only descendant of Abraham to whom the promise was made, right? He's got the same problem. So it's weird to us that in Judaism they say if you convert to our religion you become Jewish, but in Christianity they're actually telling Jewish people you're not a descendant of Abraham unless you come in through Christ, even if you actually are a descendant of Abraham, right? So we find it weird that Jews make Gentiles Jews, yet Christians make Jews Gentiles until they stop being Jews and accept Jesus, and then somehow become Jews, which are no longer Jews, they're Christians. I mean, yeah, it's weird, but it's like that's what religion does sometimes.